about that, feel free to let me know, in fact. Today, we are going to be getting to that 6th chakra reading. Today is the Capricorn full moon. This is a timeless reading, but if you happen to watch it later on, there may or may not be some themes that are relevant to you with Capricorn full moon. For me, Capricorn is a lot about structures, and full moon is a lot about release. So there's a big theme today about releasing these structures that no longer serve you, that you're ready to move on from, etc. So take what you will from that. Hello and welcome to Kaichi Alchemy. You can call me Kachi. This is a space of love, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the cosmos today. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for co-creating community with me. And I really appreciate those likes, shares, subscribes, comments, etc. as they help me to expand my reach and help more people. This is going to be a collective message, so it will not resonate with everybody. I encourage you to connect in with your intuition and only take what truly resonates for you and your soul today at this time. We're gonna do a brief, and actually brief this time, one conscious breath meditation to kind of drop into this space today. So I'll have you close your eyes with me here. You can put your hand on your heart, and maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, whatever you feel like. But basically, I want you to take a deep inhale into your belly, your lower back, your side body, your rib cage, your back, and finally into that upper chest area. And holding at the top just for a moment. And release, exhaling all of that stale air out of your lungs, even a little further than you think your lungs can exhale. Keep going. And you can let your breath peter out into its natural rhythm now. I am gonna grab a couple of decks because we're doing the third eye chakra today, focusing on that ajna stuff. I'm gonna be really focusing in on the cards and the images, and much less so on the words. So maybe that will tighten this timeline up a little bit here. Might be something in there about your timelines. Tightening them up. Increasing efficiency. Your department of efficiency. But real quick, I was just gonna go over a small number of notes that I had here today. The one main image that really the first image that I started seeing a lot before I even really got into tarot, started coming back around to me today and lately, which is this image of a person, like two people, let's just say they're like I mean, it could be any two people. So two people, and one person is standing, in front of the other one, and they have a bouquet of flowers, and they take this bouquet of flowers and they hand it over to this other person. They could be literally anybody in this scenario for you personally, a family member, a lover. It could have to do even with work perhaps, or something of that nature. It might be related to one person or a lot of people, whatever, but this one person takes their bouquet of flowers and hands it to this other individual. And as soon as this other individual takes hold of the bouquet of flowers and pulls it in close to them, literally before all of their fingers have even clasped around the stems of these flowers, they are completely dried, withered, dead, brown. It was like a really simple image, but it just like kept coming back to me and inspiring a lot of deep emotions. And so perhaps it would speak to you at this time. If it's coming up again, I feel like a lot of, the energy here is about understanding that you may have good intentions or have a heart for somebody or something, but it literally is not possible for you to do 100% of the work to make something happen, to make something work. And so this value, these flowers, this life, this light, this love, whatever it represents, let's just say love, this person that you're giving these flowers to is not capable of receiving love, is not capable of receiving that energy. And so literally by trying to help them, teach them, love on them, by trying to give to them, all you are doing is actually killing flowers. And you think you're sacrificing something beautiful of your own to give to someone or something else, but it actually is just draining your energy to grow these flowers and then hand them off to be destroyed over and over again. And you're gonna run out of energy eventually, and you're not getting, poured back into energetically in that way. And so as much as you desperately want to give these flowers to this person or this place or this situation, it's time right now. Capricorn can be kind of, rough, and be a little Saturnian, can be a little tough love, and it's just time, whatever your situation is, to accept that there are certain places that your love is just not capable of being received. And if you want to do any good for the world and for yourself and for that person, honestly, then you need to reassess your strategy and your system and create a new one that is more efficient and effective for you. Fledglings was coming through, like the little baby birds, and it's like after they are out of the nest, but they haven't really figured out how to fly yet. And my boyfriend found one at work the other day, and he wanted to save it and take care of it, and he realized it was at that point in its development where it really just had to keep practicing and figuring it out. And so he's like, oh, I hope you don't get squished, I hope things are good. But I kind of gotta let you do your thing now. Kind of reminiscent of butterflies when they're in a cocoon. If you cut them out and try to save them from that experience of getting stronger and learning how to like pump blood into their wings and stuff, they will die in the case of butterflies. And yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing with a bird. You cannot be independent if you don't learn how to fly on your own. So there might be some imagery in there. I got the Little Nemo, the movie. There's some symbolism in there that I don't know if I can really get into too much on YouTube. I like to make sure my videos get out to people, and YouTube can be weird. But maybe you should go watch that. Also, I think, what is that show called? In the Dark? I'll have to double check, and if that's wrong, I'll put it down there somewhere. But I'm pretty sure it's In the Dark. I know they have it on Netflix, and it is a show about a blind girl whose friend is killed, and she goes on a bunch of adventures and stuff to resolve that. But if you're looking for a new show to watch, that was coming through really strong for some reason. I think it might be something to do with light and vision. In the 6 chakra system, there are 6 elements. The root chakra is like earth, and then you have water, and then you have fire, and then you have air, and then at the throat, I think of this as sound, as vibration, as frequency, something in that realm. And then the third eye, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between vibration and frequency and light. They're very similar in a lot of ways, but that's kind of how the upper chakras work. They're, many parts of one thing. They're all parts of one thing, but in any case. So today's theme is a lot about light, about the presence of light, the absence of light, false light as well. So, oh yeah, I have this one note on the World's Fair. You may or may not know what the World's Fair is. Go ahead and look it up if you need to. But essentially what I was getting from that is the World's Fair was like this huge, there were many of them, this huge castle, palace, city, like these enormous elaborate buildings, and filled with crazy technology that was like not even around really. It was just like, this is our brave new world, like come check it out. We've got electricity and all these weird cool things. So they had a lot of electricity, they had a lot of lights and a lot of things lit up. And that was something really new for those people. And so it's like all the light in the darkness of the night coming from this World Fair, it gives very like bread and circus vibes. It gives very like, hey, look at me. It gives very like Hollywood almost. This I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is a bug trap. There's a light when you plug it in that has a sticker right by it. And so the light attracts the bugs, the sticker traps the bugs once they get there. And I was getting from the World's Fair that there is something trying to appeal for your attention, something trying to vie for your attention. That's very bright, that's very loud, that's very exciting or interesting in some way, very compelling. And the World's Fair is so bright and it's right in front of you and it's just mesmerizing. But even with all of these lights going on down here, and they're so right in your face, they pale in comparison to the light of the stars above you. The stars that you have been connected to, that your people have been connected to since the beginning of time. You know, like species and races and everything, the way we conceptualize it, they really don't exist. Like, we are all one creature, we are all one evolutionary process, and we can draw those lines, and you know, they help us to communicate, they help us to understand things, to study things, but they aren't the truth. The truth cannot be put into words, which is the beauty of light. But what I was getting from this World's Fair imagery was that even before all of this hullabaloo was going on right in front of you, since way before that existed, and before that existed it was easier to see, but before that existed, your ancestors spent most of their time connecting to the stars that you may or may not even be able to see in your city anymore. But regardless of whether or not you can see them, it's like the sun behind the clouds. It's always there, it's always shining. It's just your perception of things that changes. And so you can change that perception from your third eye as opposed to these two eyes, if you find that to be beneficial or desirable for some reason. And then turning frequency generation inwards, so you have the ability to create, you are a co-creator, and you may have generated all this frequency to give out to the world, to give out to your loved ones, you're creating this energy that doesn't exist, hasn't existed before. It's not something that was given to you, it's something you created to give to the world. And if you keep giving it to people who are not capable of receiving it in the way that it should be received, then you're just what do they like to say? Pissing in the wind. That's the energy of what's going on there. And so if you have all of this frequency to generate and you don't know who you can turn to besides people who are not capable of receiving that frequency and doing something beautiful and good with it, then start turning that frequency generation inwards and start creating something for yourself within yourself. Start figuring out who you want to be, where you want to go, how you want to feel, what you want to see, what you want to smell, and focus on those things and generate the feelings associated with those things. I'm going to clear the energy here a little bit with some citrus and sandalwood things. I didn't get this one. Maybe I will add it, considering the sun is going down. There we go. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've been having a really good week so far. There are one or two cards missing from this deck for various reasons, but I'm just going to assume that whatever comes out today is meant to come out today, and there is nothing missing. Pretty sure the main one that isn't in here is marshmallow. Something about sweetness, bringing sweetness into your life. So maybe there's there's something about that. Maybe Marshmallow is a plant guide for you, or maybe because it's missing from the deck, you don't need to be focusing so much on bringing sweetness into your life. Like, you're plenty sweet already, just stop throwing all that energy around places where it's not appreciated. This deck's being kind of resistant to throwing a card out today. It took a minute. Oh, that is adorable. Okay, so 2 came out here. I don't know if you can see those very much, but in any case, this is Mugwort, which is Between Dreams, and then Lavender, Tough Love. These have come out for me very recently and together, so that was interesting. There's like a purple and a dark indigo color on these cards. On the lavender one, there's a tiger, there's a bunny, something about strength, something about fertility. And then, you know, on the Mugwort one, there's the dream catchers. So, something about working with your dreams at night, or even, you know, your dreams of what you want to create in the world, like your daydreams also. And there's a key on this dream catcher in this card. So your dreams are going to hold some sort of key when it comes to figuring out how you need to apply this tough love to these people, places, and things that are killing your flowers. I am not gonna get the guidebook today, but if you want some more expanded stuff about it, let me know, and I will post some in like the comments or something. But I just have had posts and things about these cards very recently, and so I think I understand where it's coming from pretty much. That was interesting, beautiful. I am going to pull an oracle from this Sacred Sites Oracle deck. And yeah, before I do that, I need a little more assistance and protection today. Thank you, Freya. Thank you, Volley. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mary. Be here with us now as I decipher the most useful, beneficial, efficient, effective, beautiful messages for the collective at this time, for the collective here at this time. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. I just saw the Vatican on the bottom of this deck. That may be some kind of confirmation for you. Then I also saw Denali when I split the deck. And then I also saw Giza when I split the deck again. Just felt called to do that, maybe. Just a real simple confirmation for you. So what does the collective need to hear and contemplate during during this Capricorn full moon. Wow, there's a lot of cards coming out that are like, you know, favorites, like returning some of the first cards I ever pulled out of the deck kind of thing. I got New Grange for y'all today. That's interesting. I forget, is there a Saint Michael on this card? Or is it a different one I'm thinking of? Let's just pull up the guidebook. I'm gonna read the whole thing, but you know, I see the power of 3, the triple spiral imagery, heart imagery, sword in a stone imagery, doves. Also, the man on this card is wearing a headband that has like a little triangle like right over his third eye, which I found interesting for today. Okay, so we're looking for New Grange, and I believe that's in the north section. Yeah, it's the very first one. So you may or may not, like this may just be symbolic in some way, or you may or may not have some ancestry related to like Ireland and that kind of area, to, you know, the Druids and the barbarians that existed before Rome and other forces came and tried to clean things up a little bit, tried to control things a little bit. So I'm gonna read this whole section here. Feel free to skip ahead if you'd like. I will go in sometime tomorrow probably and put some timestamps with more detail so you can just get to the parts you like. But here we go. So New Grange, energy focus, illumination. Man, illumination. So some of you may have been encouraged to be in the dark, to be unseen, to avoid being seen, to avoid being illuminated. You may have created your own light internally, but not shared it with others. Probably because you sensed that they would kill your flowers. And then maybe you did it anyways. Okay. Location, county, Meath, Ireland. So there's a past, a present, and a future section here. For the lower world, the past. Question what lies beneath. Deep in the mound of the New Grange Passage tomb are buried the Tuatha De Danann, the supernatural beings that once defended the Emerald Isle. These are the tribal people of Danu, the Irish mother goddess, who were known who were known as the Shining Ones. For their safety, Danu had them taken underground into the city, the Fairy Mounds, of which New Grange was the most important, and transformed them into what we know as leprechauns. The battles in those times of gods and giants saw the old world destroyed and the founding of a new one. The old world exists now within other realms, watching, assisting, and very much alive. Call on that world for the light of truth to shine through the darkness of your past. Contemplate this card and visualize yourself picking up the sword of Nuada, king of the Tuatha De Danann, and wearing the crown that lies among the bones of the ancestors. Ask for understanding of your past and of what underlies any difficulties that you are experiencing in the present. Ask for understanding of your past and ask for understanding of what underlies the difficulties you are experiencing at present. Find the crown that lies among the bones of your ancestors. I think that all speaks for itself. Okay, middle world, the present. Newgrange's great entrance stone is engraved with many spirals, including the interlocked triple spiral of the Triskelion, said to represent the triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, of earth, sea, and sky. But where did this symbol come from? It may be our ancestors carved spirals into stone to record what they had seen, perhaps in the heavens, and not understood. Could it be that they grasped an idea that we are rediscovering now, that we follow the circle of life, death, and rebirth, becoming a little different each time around? Or does this symbol represent a portal to other worlds, left as a clue by the Shining Ones? Remember, not all at Newgrange is what it seems. The burial chamber, built over 5,000 years ago, may have been a place of worship, of ceremony, of connecting to the skies, or even to other worlds. Try using the Triskelion as a basis for a drawing, painting, carving, or other artwork that you can then meditate on or view as an inspiration. Let it guide you as you step through the shadows of doubts and untruths into the realm of self-knowledge. Okay, so if you don't have a good idea of how to even spell that word, to Google it, there is the symbol that they're talking about there, the Triskelion. That may or may not have personal significance to you, or it may be useful to use in a vision quest of some type, an art project of some type. Maybe speak to you after that. Interestingly, talked about maiden, mother, and crone, because something that I do a lot of is expanding from that triple goddess archetype into, there's actually historical precedence for the 4 instead of the 3, and that would be maiden, mother, maga, crone. We'll get into that a little bit in the future, because today it seems like the triple goddess and the number 3 and the Triskelion are useful guides for you at this time. Oh boy, my throat is a little bit still feeling it. After my last video, I had a big period of time of like feeling stuff going on in my throat, and it didn't feel like scratchy like I was getting sick, and I did not get sick. So it wasn't that. I hadn't been smoking, I hadn't been using ceremonial tobacco, I hadn't been yelling and screaming. I hadn't been in bad air quality conditions, particularly of any kind. I hadn't made any big changes really in those kinds of ways that you would think immediately about. But I think that just the soft-spoken words of the things that I have been sharing and doing most recently with friends and loved ones and people in my life, and here in this space of love. It was like a healing crisis. It was, yeah. And I also felt a lot of pressure or sensation or interesting pinching, other things in my left ear. So that may or may not be relevant to you in some way. I can't show you guys right now, I don't think but I have literally an antenna. Like my skin just pops up a little bit on my left side, like would be my fish gills if I was still back in there. Okay, so that was relevant for whatever reason. We're going to the future, to the upper world, to potential now. It is said that Angus, the Irish god of love, resided in a palace at Newgrange, near the River Boyne. Legend has it that his kisses of love manifested in the form of four white doves, whose song sprung up in the hearts of young maidens along with the sound of his harp. As you look at the doves on the card, feel the love of Angus and hear their healing celestial song. This sound of the highest vibration is an offering to you that transforms the darkness that resides within you and reveals the light bearing that waits deep within your subterranean self. You have the potential to transmute the dark clouds in your life into white doves of peace if you can only find in yourself both understanding and love, the light of the shining ones and the light of Angus, God of love. How interesting. So we talked about the crown in the bones of your ancestors in the past. So that's you and your ancestors. Then we talked about the triskelion and the triple goddess in the present moment. And then we got the four doves of Angus, God of love, in the future. So that's 2, 3, 4. That is forward motion and movement and upgrading and building. And at the end of this entry, there is a journey. So I'm going to read this off to you and then we'll get into some tarot here. Journey with the Tuatha De Danann. Find a peaceful place where you can use a shamanic drum or play a shamanic drumming CD and allow the beat to take you on a journey. Now, use all your senses as you visualize yourself sitting at dusk by a burning fire with the Tuatha De Danann. They would like to sing with you the songs of old, to tell you their story. Listen well, dear one, as you stare into the flames. Allow their tales to clear out any preconceptions that have not served you well, and to give you the answers to your questions. As you journey in song and story with the ancestors, you will be permeated by the truth of all that you wish to believe in, but did not dare. And the truth shall set you free. The truth shall set you free as you sing your soul back home. So maybe light a candle and draw that triskelion. See what your ancestors have to share with you. get into the tarot here. Because today is the third eye element, I would like to request any and all recommendations for oracle decks and tarot decks. It is time for me to get there. I have so much stuff going on in life to distract me or to take my attention and resources, and I have not purchased a deck for myself. Maybe since this very first herbal tarot deck that I got a couple of years ago. I got nothing. I make it work. I'm making good use of all of it, but I'm excited. I'm looking into it. I really want to get the biblical tarot. I found, I'm not even going to share that. That's going to be a surprise. I have some other stuff that I'm looking into that'd be fun. But yeah, if you have any oracle decks that you love, or even tarot decks that you love, tarot decks that are family friendly and don't have all of the nudies, so I can show everything on here and get views still. Thank you again for all your comments, shares, likes, and subscribes, which allow us to create an environment here that is less dependent on algorithm things and such. Yes. All right. So we're gonna start with the herbal tarot deck here. Spirit, please show me what the collective has been experiencing in the recent past that would be beneficial to speak about today. One card, if you don't mind. You may need to be patient at this time. Remember to keep faith. Okay, we got the High Priest. These are really cool, so I'm going to show them to you. But the High Priest in this deck is actually the position of the Hierophant. So it is not the High Priestess, which is the second card, not the fifth card. But it does have a white pillar and a black pillar here, kind of like the Boaz and Jachin pillars of the High Priestess card. So, I mean, I've always thought of the Hierophant as the priest, and for both of them, the High Priest and High Priestess, they are all about duality and stuff. They're all about the light and the dark. They're all about the light and the absence of light, which is kind of the same thing. It's just a different form of it, right? It's the light blocked out. It's all about our relationship to light. So in your past, you may be a high priest or a high priestess, or also the Hierophant is a card that is sometimes used as maybe he isn't so detached and truly spiritual and non-dual and everything. Sometimes people are in these spiritual positions, right? And a big reason I took a long time to get onto YouTube and to even speak my mind generally, honestly, is because I know spiritual narcissism. I know, there's another phrase that left me, but yeah, I know spiritual narcissism deeply and intimately. I know people utilizing spiritual concepts for sinister purposes. I've seen it up close and personal, and so sometimes when you see something, you want to do everything in your power to never become that thing that hurt you or whatever. And so in that, you may have somebody like really stridently like, this is what I believe and this is what's right, and because that felt so off-putting or wrong or harmful to you, you may have pushed back against that so hard that you're like, I'm not going to push my beliefs on anybody at all, to the point where I'm not even going to share my beliefs, I'm not even going to live up to them, I'm going to make my whole life about the people in front of me. Maybe I'll have some other time by myself where I have different beliefs, but you know, like I'm not going to stand firm on anything, because if I stand firm on something, maybe that'll hurt somebody else the way that somebody else is, you know, lack of desire and willingness to move, you know, to listen, to co-create, to work with other sources. So this Hierophant energy in the past literally is the card of our last reading, so that's interesting. But also might have something to do with a structure, system, an authority figure that was a part of your life in the past that really impacted your relationship to authority, that really impacted your relationship to spirituality or morality or something of that nature. So that's in the past position here. Make some room. Okay, Spirit, please show me what the collective needs to hear about the present moment. This one popped out and it was like really kind of hesitant, kind of shy, and it like almost went back, but I grabbed it because it felt very intuitively right. This is the Justice card. If you're interested, the High Priest is Sage in this deck. I forgot to mention that. This one is the Justice card, and it is plantain, right? Yeah. I think plantain in the Herbiary book, in the Oracle deck that I have, is rewild. You can find that on the community page on my page to read a little bit more about that. There's some fun, interesting stuff might be relevant to you. But anyways, yeah, there's the Scales of Justice here. There is the plantain plant here. She's got an orb in her hand. She's got her sword at her side. That any of that might be relevant. I don't know. Cloaks. It's a red cloak. Maybe something about Little Red Riding Hood. Grandma, what sharp teeth you have. Like learning to see through people's illusions and trust what you're seeing. Trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your sense, trust your discernment. And when you see that's not my grandma and you've got some sharp teeth, listen to that and honor that. And so we've got Justice coming in here right now. Justice coming in to balance these scales between you and these corrupt authority figures in your past. That's beautiful. Can we please get a future position message for the collective here? Okay. We've got Four of Pentacles, and I'm pretty sure that this one came out upside down. So I don't always take reversals, but I am going to look up this one for Four of Pentacles because I feel called to. Four of Pentacles came up in the last reading also. That's really interesting. So maybe the last reading is a lot about your past and your future, and this reading is a little bit more about the present and how to bring that justice energy into your life right now. So here's the Suit of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Tonic, laxative, coagulog. I'm not sure how to say that one. Provokes bowel movements and the discharge of bile from the liver and generally cleanses the intestinal tract. So something about releasing and processing anger, something about gut health, and something about like digestion of thoughts, ideas, air, food, water, environments, and detoxification. In divinatory meanings, it says immobility, clinging to old things that are no longer needed. Okay, so yeah, this one was in reverse. It seemed like it should be in reverse. It's cascara bark, if you were curious, or if you happen to know what that is already. So in the reverse meaning, it is letting things pass through without absorbing their intent and meaning. So what I'm getting from this is that in the past, you spent a lot of energy and time, focus, resources, energy on these corrupt authority figures, these harmful systems, these hypocritical energies, these whatever corrupt authority energy was in your past. And you had to focus on it so much because you had to figure out how to interact with these people or these environments or whatever it is for you. And so if you want to improve your relationship to these things in the past, like justice is unfolding, justice is here, justice is your present reality, justice is, did I say that already, in the process of unfolding. And so it's really imperative moving forward that you let go, that you surrender, that you allow this process to happen, and not try to focus so much on like, okay, well, is this the right thing? Is this the way it should be going? Was I really right in my perception? Was I really correct in my intuition? And you like doubting and reconsidering and questioning. And it's beautiful that you guys do that all the time. It can be very beneficial, but right now, Spirit is saying, not now. Now is not the time. You have invested so much time, energy, and resources into your relationship with these corrupt authority figures in your past that it's really just time to surrender, to let it go, and to give it over to God and allow Spirit to do whatever needs to be done. You are not an arbiter of justice. None of us are really. Sometimes we play some roles, but we are never the final say-so. We never truly know right and wrong to a degree greater than Spirit, greater than the whole, greater than the collective co-creation. And so what is unfolding right now needs to unfold right now. Don't get in the way of it. Don't overthink it. Don't put a bunch of energy that way. Put a bunch of energy towards your internal justice, towards that frequency generation within you, to help you create the things that you actually want to see in your life right now. I've got Mullen, Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck. And Mullen is really good for your airways, for your breathing. So, you know, focus more on your breath and less on the words. Just sink into that surrender and that knowingness and that acceptance in this moment. And that is the foundation of what will allow you to create new frequency in the future and, you know, contribute to the world in that way. This Queen of Swords didn't want to come up with the rest of the deck. You may or may not be of, you may or may not be a feminine female person, but yeah, you are cutting through illusions, you are getting straight to the point, you are not thinking about things that you can question and mull over forever. You can just look at the facts. Just look at them bare bones as they are. No emotion, no assumptions, no analyzing, just the straight facts of the matter, of your present, of your past, of your future. Just look at it without judging, without interpreting. It's awesome that you do that a lot, but right now it's time to be in this total present awareness and this total trust and faith in God and Spirit and the universe to unfold without really any effort on your part. Like, you've been trying so hard for so long, and what have you gotten out of it? Probably not what you deserve, probably not what you intended. It's probably not sustainable if that was how life works, you know? But you are generating energy, you are generating karma, you know, which is energy. You are putting things in motion in your life all the time. And so you have the ability to step back once in a while and just watch the dominoes fall. And that's kind of, I mean, it's time to watch the dominoes fall, but also in the process of sitting with yourself, with your feelings, with the facts, just not super purple, not super analytical, but just, yeah, not like emotionally analytical, but just looking at the facts. It's gonna help you to be more grounded, to be more detached, and to be more trusting in the Most High when that's most needed. Okay? I have the High Priestess come out here. So we got the High Priest and the High Priestess. That's a lot of balancing of masculine and feminine energies that might be relevant to your current experience. And the Three of Wands. You're looking out into your future, planning your next step, or really, I think that one's almost like waiting for your ships to come in. So yeah, really surrendering to your intuition, surrendering to spirit, and waiting to see. You may not know exactly what those ships look like or the exact moment of the day and position of the sun in the sky when they get there. You may not, you know, the people on that boat might not be who you expect, who was on there last time. Judgment. So you're waiting for this judgment to come in. You're sitting in your intuition, in your stillness, waiting for this judgment to come in. This judgment is in regards to Three of Cups, friends, family, community. Two of Cups, love. Also can be friends and family and community, but less of like a communal energy and more of a one-to-one energy of union. So maybe not even with other people, but maybe union within yourself, union of masculine and feminine energies within yourself, with union of your inner child and your inner guardian, union of your inner feminine and your inner masculine. The star, you are the star. You are a source of fresh energy, of fresh frequency. You create, you shine, you balance analytical and emotional thinking, you balance intuition and logic, and she's naked on this card usually. So you are, coming into being very fully expressed, being very authentic, and being a guiding light for others to do the same. I've got the 10 of Cups, which is all about family, future, fulfillment, legacy, maybe an actual spouse, children, a house, but might also have something to do with career, intentional community, or some kind of endeavor, something that you are building with other people, a homestead, whatever. The sun. The sun is a star. So not only are you the star, but you are the star for this time and this place on this planet. There's also a baby on the back of that horse usually. So again, innocence, authenticity. You are real. You are unburdened by all of the masks and the clothes and the armor that everybody around you is wearing. And so if you are moving forward in that way where you aren't covered in armor, you do run the risk of somebody psycho coming and taking advantage of that. But the beautiful thing about it is you are able to be an example for other people to help them see that may or may not actually even happen at all, and that it's very worth being in your authenticity and being transparent and open and authentic and real and unarmored. Of course, take that with a grain of salt. As always, use your discernment, take only what resonates with you, etc. But there's also lots of sunflowers on the sun card, and sunflowers speak to, there's a lot of different inputs, a lot of different things to focus on, but sunflowers always literally move to face the sun. So these sunflowers, these people who are gonna focus on something, they're gonna focus on what's real, and they're gonna focus on what is light, and they're gonna focus on the sun. And those are the people that you need to care about. Those are the forces that you need to be shining your light towards and pouring into, because people are either sunflowers or they're the person taking your flowers and turning them into ash. We got the Hangman, so definitely take extra time to be reflective, to slow down, to become contemplative, not analytical. And you don't have to totally remove words from your mind to be in this energy, but to be contemplative is different than being reflective in a way. Like, being contemplative is very open-ended. Being contemplative is waiting for something when you don't know even what that thing is gonna look like or whatever. Yeah. So, we got King of Pentacles. If you want to come into a space of being more grounded and really, building and creating the things that are important to you on a material, grounded level, to Magician, to create Temperance, to create balance, to create sustainable versions of your dreams. You're gonna need to turn this Nine of Wands upside down, Nine of Swords upside down. So, putting an end to the mental masturbation, putting an end to the overthinking, putting an end to the excessively mulling over things, as if you're gonna find something in those facts that changes everything for you. It makes it less unsettling. It makes you feel more certain and more clear. And in the process of turning that Nine of Swords upside down and turning all of that worry into wisdom and spiritual fire, you will be able to transform Hierophant, your relationship to authority, your relationship to toxic authority figures and systems in your life, also to your relationship to your inner authority, and your relationship to structure, and your relationship to digging your heels in. I get the sense for this collective that you really need to focus more on dismantling those structures and building structures within yourself. You can always join something, but I'm getting the sense that there is no structure out there for you right now, available to you right now, that people have already created that is appropriate to supporting and bolstering and pouring into what you are meant to express for all of our benefit in this life, at this place, at this time. So focus on building a new system. Focus on building your own religion. Focus on building your own moral compass. Focus on building your own tablets of wisdom. And Four of Swords, remember to balance rest with Page of Wands, fire, life force, energy, flow, taking time to rest and be in that parasympathetic kind of state. Also taking time to sweat, to move energy through your body, to dance, to do things that also will quiet your mind. But instead of pulling yourself down into this death, dark, slow energy, also pulling yourself up into something fun and beneficial and full of wordless energy. And we have Page of Wands coming into the King of Wands. So if you do these things, if you step back and give yourself space to relax, give yourself a push to move energy through your body, then you will step into a more mature version of fire energy, a more mature, masculine, structured, orderly version. you will create the structure necessary to hold that fire in a way that is effective, efficient, productive, sustainable, and aligned to what you truly want to create in this world. Nine of Swords, or Nine of Wands. Is that 9? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 9 of Wands. You may be looking at this 1, 1, 1, 2, 2 on the clock, by the way. You may be looking at all of these 9 wands, feeling like that is just so much energy and effort, and I've put so much energy and effort, and it's just kind of the energy of like, I want to give up. It's like do or die. It's like you can either look at this, all this struggle, as a lesson and a blessing and an opportunity, or you can let it crush you under its weight, and the choice is up to you. Okay? I split the deck on the 8 of Wands, which is just like fast movement, forward movement coming in. And then I have the 4 of Wands, and in front of the 4 of Wands is the Queen of Cups with the 3 of Swords, and behind the 4 of Wands is the King of Swords. So that's very interesting. You may be this Queen of Cups energy, or, well, I get the sense that this, whether you're a man or a woman, you are this Queen of Cups energy. You have these three of Swords, this broken heart energy that you carry with you. And you don't have to be perfectly healed or whatever. You don't have to completely release all of this. You can be in the process of working through this 3 of Swords energy. And you can still come into this 4 of Wands union, marriage, celebration, coming together with a King of Swords energy that can complement you. And I mean, this King of Swords energy might be your own sense of logic and order and structure, and the Queen of Cups may more be like your emotional side, and that's why the 3 of Swords is here connected to it. So it's like this Queen of Cups as your inner mother and your ability to hold space for and help yourself to process through these tender emotions and this struggle, you know. And this King of Swords is able to look at things objectively and to be real stoic in the assessment and to help move y'all towards and build the future, to build this union, to build this celebration. So you have this feminine, emotional side of you that is allowing you to process the past in an effective, healthy, helpful way. But you also need to balance that with your masculine, logical, stoic side of yourself in order to move forward towards the future as well, simultaneously, while you are processing the past. Because we ain't never fully healed, none of us, not one of us, ever. And so you've got to be able to move forward and do something with your life, you know? I split the deck again, and it went back to the 8 of Wands. So that's just with the quickness. Things are coming in. Things are coming in so fast, you don't need to do anything. Slow down, shut up, listen. Or, some less harsh version of that if it feels right. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it there. I will pull one very last card because I said to myself I would do this and I just remembered. This is my anatomy flash card deck. And the one that I just pulled up here is semimembranosus, which flexes the knee, medially rotates the flexed knee, extends the hip, which is kind of like kicking your leg behind you, assists to medially rotate the hip to like turn it inwards, as well as to tilt the pelvis posteriorly, which is like the opposite of sticking your butt out, like tucking your sits bones in. And so this semimembranosus is attached to your sits bone, as well as the posterior aspect of the medial condyle of the tibia. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, that goes all the way from your pelvis down to your lower leg bone. So that goes over your entire thigh, doesn't even connect to your femur, to your thigh bone. But yeah, it's kind of like a muscle that connects your sacral chakra into your root chakra, your hip, to your pelvis, into your knee. It's basically a hamstring, I believe. And so, in my experience, hamstrings hold a whole lot. They can be very minimally responsive to the work, to getting beat up on and stuff. But they respond more to when you relax and loosen and free, and balance all of the surrounding structures. That's really when your hamstrings are able to start to let go. And so it seems like, well, there may be some Sagittarius energy in there with the thighs, with the femur. There may be something about your past here with the posterior side of the body, with the back of your body, and something to do with your legs, about forward movement. So if you want to be able to move forward in your life, then you need to connect different aspects of yourself and in a way that allows them to operate together, function together, work together as a team more effectively. Your pelvis is that Queen of Cups, Three of Swords energy. It's all about emotion, it's all about storing trauma, it's all about fluids, and literally your pelvis is a cup of fluid. If you're a female, that can be extremely literal sometimes, like cup floweth over. And then the knee is that sort of King of Swords energy, that Four of Wands energy. Instead of water and air, it is air and fire, and it is all about structure and stability, and things are what they are, and your knees don't have a lot of wiggle room. They're a hinge joint. They just go in a linear direction. It's like straight, or straight forward, straight back. We're bending here, we're bending here. It's very linear. It's very black and it's very white. It's great to have the rainbow pelvis, water, Queen of Cups. Like, that's very important. Equally important is the black and white. I feel like you need to step more into either one of those wherever you're at now, and then continue stepping back and forth, getting used to this constant process. You're not trying to get to one place. You're trying to toggle back and forth between these different guiding forces, and that is going to land you somewhere you never expected, but somewhere that is very much in alignment with your deeply held needs and desires, because spirit can always hears those things, and it may not operate on a timeline that you like. Your karmas may not be what you think that they are, but in the end, it's always working out for your highest and greatest good, most especially if you trust and believe that. So, thank you very much for joining me today. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think I did a little better this time, and I think that we're gonna get into some zodiac readings in these coming days and weeks, which I'm really excited to get into. So I will see y'all there. Again, thank you for those comments, shares, likes, and subscribes. I am currently working towards my goal of 50 subscribers so that we can go live straight from my phone whenever I feel like it. But until the next time, guys, I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is that you are in the cosmos today, right now. Love y'all. Bye.